The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Just want to know how I'm supposed to do my job when we bombed Iran and we're just supposed to go on about. We're just supposed to get these boxes out without being worried. I just need somebody to explain to me how I'm supposed to not crash out.
And somebody in the White House needs to take Trump and sit his ass the down. Life already hard, then we gotta worry about this bull. Ever since you stepped foot in the motherfucking White House, you ain't did nothing but cause chaos. I'm not getting out there and fighting nobody. I'm on Iran's side. I'm on their side. The U.S. I don't give a damn.
Yes, my friends, they are having conniption fits. Their undies are in a wad. They're having fits of anger. They cannot believe what has taken place. The United States military, under the president, has shown the world once again what a flawless mission looks like, all the way from deception and execution to take out Iran's nuclear capabilities, and the American left cannot stand it. There are major protests in American cities. They've taken a break from protesting the rule of law when it comes to immigration, and now they've even taken a break from the Palestinian outrage that they've been feeling. What has happened in Gaza? No, now the American left have mobilized protesters in New York, Washington, D.C., and other locales. Oh, yeah, huge protest in support of Iran. Hands off Iran. That is what some of the protesters said. Hands off Iran. In fact, Carlos, keep the music there. Hit number 10. This is what it was like, is like. Yes, my friends, hands off Iran. The American left. If you are an enemy of America, you have a friend with today's Democrat Party. If you are a tyrant that executes women for simply daring, yes, they do. They execute women for daring to demand freedom to be women, to not wear the clothes that the mullahs say that you must wear, to actually express themselves as free human beings. Women are executed. Men who support them are executed. It has been a 46-year reign of terror for the people of Iran. It has been 46 years of a Cold War with the United States of America, which has not ever really been addressed until now. It has been Iran killing United States servicemen by sending IEDs over to Iraq. It has been Iran sponsoring terror all around the world. And now it appears that regime is in trouble. And liberals are unhappy. American liberals are actually openly, brazenly, without any second thought whatsoever, rooting for the number one state sponsor of terror in the world. It is something we have today, an overabundance of audio, can't get to it all, and I excluded all of the politician statements because I didn't even want to be bothered with them. people like the young. I'm trying so hard not to define her in ways that I might be sorry for later. The young woman that speaks hoodies, hood, like speaks like a hood. The hood. The one I'm talking about, member of Congress, said the mofo in the White House, I presume all of you know what that means. If you don't, someone will explain it to you. The mofo in the White House could have at least said, holla. Do a holla before you attack. Holla at somebody. It is imbecilic beyond belief. We were supposed to, I guess, according to hoodies from Jasmine Crockett, give the Iranians and everybody else advance warning. Oh, guess what, guys? We're planning an attack. It is beyond imbecilic. 22-minute meltdown. He hadn't hollered about his intentions before he ordered the bombing. The mofo that resides in the White House has unilaterally declared war against Iran. I didn't even want to play it. It's like I said before, it's like bringing the ghetto straight to your Congress. Bernie Sanders was at a rally when the announcement came in. That, to me, is cut to priceless. Here's what that sounded this past Saturday.
We just bombed Iran.
Oh, no, I'm scared.
Oh, that just gave me the chills.
I'm scared.
That just...
All right, let me conclude.
Oh, dear God. Oh, dear God.
Oh, dear God.
This is a statement from Donald Trump, quote,
Oh, dear God.
"We have completed our very successful attack on the three nuclear sites in Iran," etc.
Yeah, that's Bernie Sanders' rally. At least some of them know the word God. I mean, that's at least impressive for that crowd. But immediately, of course, what is the reaction? The reaction is whatever was done on behalf of the people of the United States by the president, oh no. No, can't have it. Terrible. No more. Don't do anything. Now, the battle cry has been from almost every single Democrat. There are a few that it's not. Is Donald Trump didn't have war powers. Donald Trump. And by the way, there are a few Republicans in this. I might just say Marjorie Taylor Greene is outdoing herself. Every statement seems to have a not so subtle hostility toward the government of Israel in it. And the United States did this on behest of Israel. Like Donald Trump didn't make up his mind that this was good for the United States of America. According to Marjorie Taylor Greene, it's all being done because supposedly, I guess, Israel twisted Donald Trump's arm and made him do it. It is what it is. And there are others that are voicing similar concerns, not too many. Among the president's critics in the Republican Party, some are begrudgingly saying, trying not to criticize. Christy Todd Whitman, what a disgrace. That's the New Jersey ex-governor. She has some statement that's so mealy-mouth about it. I'll have to find it. I have it in my stack somewhere. But then you have others like Murkowski, who's usually a fierce critic, that didn't, even Kinzinger. Adam Kinzinger is among the Trump haters. And I mean, you talk about hate Trump, who are supporting the move. He said the strikes were a good call by the president. The U.S. attack on the nuclear facilities, in my opinion, is the right call. We will see what the results are. But now the key is suppressing surface-to-surface missile fire, negotiate an end to the fight with Iran, is what he wrote. Chris Christie, another critic, said that Trump deserves an enormous amount of credit for the strikes. This is against type for him. I'm sure it was a difficult decision. I think his analysis was he cannot live with a nuclear weapon in Iran, and Israel did all the heavy lifting, he said. Christy Todd Whitman, the former Republican governor of New Jersey, who has been sharply critical of the party's shift toward Trump. Like we care what Christy Todd Whitman says. She was a milquetoast governor at best, and then she went over to the EPA and bombed out in spectacular fashion, spineless, feckless. We're still doing the work now to recover from the Christy Todd Whitman ballooning of the EPA, which then just got worse. Anyway, I think we can all agree that Iran shouldn't have a nuclear weapon, and I have to bow to intelligence reports that purportedly said they were within a week of making that a reality. I can only hope that the intelligence is correct. But since this president doesn't seem to listen to his intelligence chief, I have great doubts, and I wish he had pursued the disarmament talks further. Hey, Christy, if you're such a great intellect, why didn't you run for president and see how many electoral votes you would have gotten? Probably less than Jeb Bush. Yeah, when he ran in the primaries, Jeb Bush ran again. Do you know how many how many primary votes that Jeb Bush got when he was running up against in 16? He spent millions of dollars.
6.
TJ, you know how many? Google it real quick and tell me how many primary votes did Jeb Bush get when he ran up against Donald Trump in 2016, in the 2015 primaries leading up to 2016 elections? How many? And he spent, I think, $100 million.
He represented a 0.92% of the total votes. It says 200,086.
200,000 what? How many primary votes? Jeb Bush. Jeb. J-E-B. Jeb Bush. Not the Bush you were thinking about.
Didn't get any.
Didn't get any.
He suspended after South Carolina.
Suspended after South Carolina.
That's the first one, isn't it?
Yes, it was the first primary. The first or the second, I don't know, my memory there. But he didn't get a debt. $100 million he spent and ended up with nothing.
Sorry, that number was the total votes she got, like.
Yeah. Wow. And Christy Todd Whitman, she's in that whole ilk. Anyway, I sidetracked myself from talking about Iran. Let's take a break, because we have a lot to cover. You know, Princess Di was on with us on Saturday. I can't wait to catch up with her. Oh, we got it. The Countess of Conspiracy has just sent me the times Obama dropped bombs on people but didn't declare war. Yeah, lots of times is right. Thank you, Countess. I got that one covered, too. We got to go. We're so late. Let's do it right now.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Princess Diana sent me the Trump response. Iran has officially responded to our obliteration of their nuclear facilities with a very weak response, which we expected, and have effectively countered. There have been 41 missiles fired, 13 knocked down, one was set free because it was headed in a non-threatening direction. Pleased to report no Americans were harmed, hardly any damage done. More importantly, they've got it all out of their system, and hopefully there will be no further hate. He wants to thank Iran, he says, for giving us early notice so no lives were lost, nobody was injured. Perhaps they can now live in peace and harmony.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
1, 2, impeach this fool. 3, 4, convict this whore. 5, 6, remove this prick. 7, 8, convict this ingrate. 9, 10, execute him. The end.
So if you are a veteran and you come in my comments and you talk about this man like he's doing good things for our country, you don't deserve the respect of this country. You deserve to have your record stripped and hung in the stocks because you are a traitor. You're a traitor to your country and you're a traitor to your oath. Your oath was to uphold the Constitution of the United States. It wasn't to suck some orange guy's micropeen. Do you understand? So get the off my page because I hate nobody more than you. Disgusting.
As I said, ladies and gentlemen, at the beginning of the program, liberals are having a fit because we successfully eliminated Iran as a nuclear threat to the world for the time being. James Golden, Snerdley. Okay, let's get to it, my friends. First of all, a few things. As you know, in that statement that I just read, the president says pretty much, thanks, Iran. Thanks for giving us the heads up you were going to attack so nobody got killed. And wow, he is just playing these guys like a Stradivarius. There are a few other stories in the news that I briefly want to touch on. Of course, the immigration stories are still out there. But there's an editorial in today's Washington Post. It is an editorial written by the editorial board of the Washington Post. And the Washington Post editorial board has this to say: I was stunned. I was shocked. That's not what it says. I'm telling you before I get to what it says. I was stunned. I was shocked. I almost I couldn't believe it. I read it twice to make sure that I had it right. Then I looked to make sure that it was really the editorial board and it wasn't some prankster that hacked their way into the Washington Post. But it was indeed the Washington Post editorial board that wrote this, ladies and gentlemen. NATO is worth paying for. Trump is right that Europe needs to do more. What? President Donald Trump will attend the first NATO summit of his second term Tuesday at a time when the alliance's 21st century relevance has never been clearer, but when its sustainability is also in question, with a NATO skeptical American president back in the Oval Office. Given these realities, Europe needs to show it will contribute its share to ensure the alliance is stable and strong. It goes on from there. Trump is right. Europe needs to pay their fair share. This in the Trump-hating Washington Post. Now, last week I missed the story. That was a huge story. Totally missed it. doing some catch-up reading over the weekend, I came across it in the Wall Street Journal. Blew my mind. So it's a week. It was, hey, folks, sorry. Almost 10 days ago, June 15th, this story came out, and I missed it. Canada shakes off rust on defense. Prime Minister Mark Carney announces new spending to hit 2%. The decision comes in time for this month's NATO meeting, where the alliance's Secretary General Mark Rutte says he will propose 5% spending target, the 5% spending target preferred by Mr. Trump. Canada's 2% may soon become the bare minimum, and it won't end the free rider problem, but we'll take it. So, in other words, Canada has now, for the first time, saying they're going to pony up. They're going to actually pony up and pay their NATO dues. This has all been happening. And have they been making a big deal out about any of this in the no. Okay. Former Democratic lawmaker actually argues America doesn't have leg to stand on when condemning Iran's treatment of women. Former Democrat State Senator Nina Turner of Ohio claimed on Sunday that the United States does not hold moral authority over Iran when it comes to women's rights. I'm not happy that the Iranian government would treat women differently or disrespectful. I'm also not happy about the disrespectful nature of how American women are treated here, Ms. Turner said. Well, and this is typical of what's going on in the left. So, I'm not going to answer that charge myself. I would like to actually have a cut 9. This will answer it in no uncertain terms.
Hey, full-blooded Iranian here, born in Iran, went to school in Iran, fled Iran twice, and was actually arrested by the morality police in 1995 for watching MTV on a VHS cassette, and the music was so loud the neighbors heard and called the Basij on me and my cousins. They separated us in different prisons, and they held me captive for 3 days of hell before they informed my family where I was even at. This is Nika Shakarami, 16-year-old who was essayed and unalived by IRGC members for participating in the Women Life Freedom Movement. This is Hadis Najafi. She was unalived for participating in the Women Life Freedom Movement. This is Mohammad Qabalu. The whole world said his name, and they ended up executing him in secret without being able to say goodbye to his family. Who executed him? The Islamic regime occupying Iran. For what? For participating in the Women Life Freedom protest. This is Reza Rasai. He was unalived as well. Execution at 5 a.m. unannounced, didn't get to say goodbye to his family because he participated in the Women Life Freedom movement. Who unalived him? The Islamic regime occupying Iran. This is Khodanur. He is from Zahedan, and he is a minority inside of Iran. His life was taken by the IRGC in the most brutal way that you can imagine. He was participating in the Friday protest after prayer in support of the Women Life Freedom movement. He was shot by IRGC members, dragged, tied to a pole, given water bottle, feet away from where he could reach, and left to die. And let's not forget the Islamic regime is also known for shooting people's eye out for participating in the Women Life Freedom movement. Don't forget the Iranian people and what they have been going through for over 46 years under the rule of the Islamic regime occupying Iran. They are done with this regime. They no longer want them in power. If this regime stays in power, we are going to have more names and more executions in the days to come. Hey.
And Iran's government executed almost 1,000 people last year. And yet you have this former Democrat state senator, Nina Turner of Ohio, saying United States has no moral authority. We treat women just as bad here. This is what Democrats are. This is who Democrats are. Anything. By the way, CNN, let's get to this real quick. CNN story earlier, President Trump, in advance of the strike, he told Republican leaders about it, but he didn't tell Democrat leaders about it. CNN actually put a story out to that effect, that Trump was playing favorites with informing leadership of the United States government. Here's Caroline Leavitt, cut 3 on that claim by CNN.
White House made calls to congressional leadership. They were bipartisan calls. In fact, Hakeem Jeffries couldn't be reached. We tried him before the strike and he didn't pick up the phone, but he was briefed after, as well as Chuck Schumer was briefed prior to the strike. So this notion that CNN ran with at the White House did not give a heads up to Democrats is just completely false. In fact, both Senator Schumer's office and CNN had to retract that story last night because it was a blatant lie. And we showed them the timestamps from those phone calls. But
so there's that. Now, we've had a lot of stuff going on, too, with immigration issues over the weekend. That has not died down, and also some of these other protests. I want to get to some of that. There continues to be a big deal made about Gavin Newsom and his chances. You know why we know he's running for president? Now he's trying to but put the wife before the American public and Mrs. Newsom. Carlos, we have Mrs. Newsom in here. Find Mrs. Newsom and play Mrs. Gavin Newsom. Talking about...
We are a country of immigrants.
Here we go. Yeah.
That is just a fact. It is who we are. And yet here we are watching families be targeted, watched, hunted, farm workers being chased across fields. These are some of the hardest working people on earth. And they literally feed the nation. Shame on this federal administration for doing this. Shame on them for choosing cruelty, for terrifying families, ruining children's lives, just to make a political point. Whose interpretation of Christian values is this? What happened to being the party of family values? This shouldn't be about politics. This should be about people, their well-being, our shared humanity. If you could see these families, hear from them, these moms, their children. Today I heard from community members who have lost loved ones to suicide because of the trauma and pain being inflicted on the immigrant community. If you looked into their eyes, you would understand, you would feel it. You would know this was wrong. We have to do better.
Yes, you heard her crying. Broke down and cried because apparently people are committing suicide because the United States federal government is enforcing United States law, and she and the Democrat Party cannot stand it. It's horrible. How dare they? There are more sob stories over what is happening in L.A. We could spend all day with them. There are also the people that are, well, cut 17, like this, ladies and gentlemen.
I just saw a post that a whistleblower has come forward and said that the women in ICE detainment are getting involuntary hysterectomies and they don't know why they're getting these surgeries, and they don't know that they won't be able to have children. They're not explaining them what they're doing and why they're doing it. And my jaw has been on the floor the entire time. If this is true, if anybody can else, I'm rocked. I'm rocked all the way off.
So now ICE is giving women hysterectomies, according to this woman on the left. Forced hysterectomies. Okay, so I had two other things that I just want to get to before the fastest hour in media starts to have to move out. Let's visit a gentleman by the name of Shabbos Kestenbaum. I don't know who he is. He's a Democrat. But listen to this Democrat talk about what has happened in Iran.
You know, I want to dispel one more notion. Oh, what about the War Powers Act? You don't have congressional authorization. You know how many drone strikes on foreign countries George W. Bush had? 51. You know how many drone strikes Barack Obama had on foreign countries? 375. He obliterated Yemen. He obliterated Pakistan. He obliterated Somalia. And the same people who were in charge of the Obama foreign policy, like Ben Rhodes, all of a sudden were concerned about Trump taking unilateral force against a foreign country without war authorization, without the War Powers Act. I mean, the hypocrisy is astounding. Okay, this is an objectively good thing. It's the preservation of Western dominance, of American hegemony in the Middle East. But of course, because it's Trump, we have to be opposed to it, right? That's why Hakeem Jeffries, the House Minority Leader, that's why Chuck Schumer, the Senate Minority Leader, they have to come out against it. Not because they actually believe it was a bad thing, but because they don't have any policies themselves to really campaign on. They don't really have a convincing argument for the American people, which is why they lost so poorly in November. So they just figured if we're just against whatever the current thing is, that will win us favor.
And that is a Democrat, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a quick break here. There's one more thing I want to at least delve into our large and vast and ever-growing audio library. But we'll do that when we get back. Hopefully, if we have enough time. James Golden and Snerdley, keep it right here. Don't go away. The fastest hour in media continues.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Yeah, my friends, this next story is sad. It's very, very sad. So sad. Really, even more sad than Jennifer Newsom. So I just wanted you to brace yourselves because this is really, really sad. And it's going to be hard to digest for some of you, but anyway, here.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Tiernan, and on Saturday after leaving the No Kings protest, I was struck and injured by a motor vehicle while leaving the protest. The cops here in Catskill, New York, took several days to get an accident report together, and they would not give me any information. They never interviewed me after the accident. I've been asking for information for days because I've been very traumatized by this event. And now, in order to re-traumatize me, the cops here in Catskill are telling me that it's my fault that I put my human body in the street to be hit by a motor vehicle. The people in the motor vehicle actually got out and started screaming in my face after they had struck me. I spent the rest of the day in the hospital having x-rays and MRIs, CAT scans on my pelvis and on my head. And they never came to check on me. They never came to ask me any questions. They never did anything. And now they're giving me a citation for being in the road. So, honestly, I think that's a bunch of crap. And I'm very, very upset because I want to press criminal charges against this person who hit me. And the cops just handed me a citation saying that it's my fault, that my fragile human body got hit by a motor vehicle after the protest. I have not yet seen the videos. They refuse to show them to me without a FOIL request, which of course I will file. That's all I have to say for now. But protect and serve? I don't think so.
I told you it was sad, so just wipe the tears from your eyes. That was so sad. It was very sad. It almost sounds so sad it could be a whole feature-length film of sad. It's what? What's the title? Playing in Traffic is the title of the sad movie. Playing in Traffic. I stood in front of a car and it hit me. And they gave me a citation. We gotta go. May God bless and protect each and I told you it was sad. May God bless, protect each and every single one of you, families and loved ones. Love and gratitude, my friends, for you being here with me, allowing me here with you. God willing, we're back tomorrow for Tuesday's edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. Happy birthday to Justice Thomas, 77 years old today. Justice Clarence Thomas, American hero, American patriot, the GOAT of the Supreme Court. Well, one of them.
20 seconds.
And I'm sorry, folks, for the sad stories today. Hopefully we'll do better tomorrow and not take your emotions to those sad levels. In the meantime, I bid you adieu. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. You can hear Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour weekdays at 4 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?